welcome along. This is Virtual Farmer, and in today's video we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So there is an area here on Kinlaig which I think this is probably my favorite farm area in the map, and it doesn't quite work how I'd like it to. So the big thing we've got here is we've got a large barn that you start with here. You've got a silage clamp when you don't have any cows. You have a barn that doesn't open, doesn't work at all. And then you've got probably the most useful bit on here, which is this little lean-to. So we've got £10,000. We're going to rebuild this farmyard into something useful. And yeah, we're going to see how much it's going to cost us to reshape this yard into an area that I think would make a fantastic start farm. So the first thing we need to do is buy the area. Now, to get this farm here, you need to buy field 57. It's 196,080 to buy it, which isn't all that expensive. So yeah, that's pretty good. So we will buy that. Yes. And that then will give us access to this barn, and I can show you the inside of this. So this barn is really nice and has some very nice features to it. It doesn't have an opening door or anything there, but it's quite difficult to get any largish tractors or any bigger equipment into. So we're going to remove this. One of the advantages to removing this barn is that we will be able to get rid of this useless shed as well. What many have come in my streams to refer to as the despicable shed. So we're going to get rid of this barn, we're going to get rid of the silage clamp, and we're going to get rid of that shed. We're going to leave this here for now because I think that could still be a useful part of our yard. So into the build mode we go. And let's come and zoom down. So if we remove this shed here, I mean, look at the size of that useless shed. So we are going to sell that. That'll give us 14,000 for the small shed. Yes. Okay. And you can see that's got rid of that there. And we're also going to get rid of this bunker silo here. So sell that. Yes. Okay. So that gives us then a nice area here to work with. And the first thing we want to do is get a nice large shed down that will be the centerpiece of our yard. And I think we're going to build this over here. Now, we do have this pole in the way a little bit, so we're going to try and work around that. And the shed I want to use is this one here, the sliding door 2500T British grain barn. This is from the British grain sheds mod. It's available on the mod hub and it fits in here quite nicely. Now you can see that this is saying it overlaps with an item, and so that means we're going to need to prepare the ground before we place it. So if we spin around here a little bit and try and position ourselves a bit more so we can see how far back we need to prepare the land, you can see we need to go almost up to the edge of the tree line there. In fact, we've got a bush at the back here that is a fairly good alignment. So let's level this all out, bring everything back to about here, and that should do it all. So we're going to take this smoothing tool, we'll enlarge things a little bit, and we'll go all the way back to about there. We want to take this all the way along the back here so that we get a nice big area that we can place this shed. Now, I think that should be enough to get the shed, but I'm going to go all the way back to the rocks over here a little bit just to make enough space for us to get that in, and expose a couple more of those rocks there, make that a little bit more natural. So back to our shed at 80,000, and now if I rotate that a little bit, I think we should be able to get that in there, yeah, without too much hassle. So the next thing I want to do is create a base for it to sit on. We want to put some concrete down. I think we will go with a round tool because of the area, and we're just gonna concrete over everything here. Now, if I concrete a little bit outside of the space that we're looking to place this, that's not a huge problem because we can clean that up afterwards. But I want to make sure that we cover the area that we're actually going to be using. So there we go. That is a good area there, all done. So back to the shed. Check that that fits in that area there quite nicely. Yes. So I'm going to spin things round and we'll check that we fit. Now you can see this is why we check. Because if you look at this now, we're well over at the far side. So in order to get this in the space we've got, that is where that needs to be. And looking at the other end, we need to pull the shed out a little bit further, the ground out a little bit further on that side. So let's smooth this out. We know we've got to go up to those shrubs there. So I'm going to bring this a little bit further. I can always put some of the shrubs back in. And if we pull this out here, what we'll be able to do is smooth this down a little bit in a minute once we've actually got the shed placed. Go back to the concrete here. Switch my tool and enlarge. And then that there. Now I can see here I need to go a little bit further back at the back with the smoothing tool. So I'm going to just take this up to there like so. And we'll smooth this out until that grey bit comes back down. Right, there we go. I think we may be ready to place our shed. 80,000 shed. That goes nicely in that space there. And then we'll spin round, check the other side. Yeah, nicely in that space there. So with that all lined up, bringing it fairly close to the front, we press B to go into free placement and place it down. And that then is our first building, a nice big shed for around here. We can now smooth the edges down here. We are pretty good at the back. We don't seem to be encroaching too much. And around the top end here, yeah, we've got our exposed rocks and everything is looking absolutely grand. So I'm happy with that. Let's have a look at how this looks inside. Yeah, we've got a little bit on the back here, which not overly surprised about, but otherwise that is a really good placement for that shed. And I'm very happy with our start. So the next thing I want to place is we want to put a farmhouse in. And the farmhouse, the best place for that, I think, is over here. There's a nice little area at the back here, and that all works really well. So what we're going to do, go into farmhouses, and I'm going to use the base farmhouse here from Kinlaig because I think that fits in really nicely. We want to spin it round, and you can see that it does. It fits absolutely wonderfully in this space. So if we push this back a little bit, we don't need to worry about sorting any of the ground out for this at the moment. And we will plonk that to there like so. 245,000 for that. And that is sitting in there really nicely. So we want to get everything sort of painted around here. I want to make a garden in the back. And we'll put some grass down there. With our grass selected, let's bring this up. Now, I'd love to put sort of a patio area around the back here. The trouble is we are at a little bit of an angle where this is placed. So it's very possible that the stonework won't quite look right. We'll give it a go and see what happens. But yeah, bring this up and round at the back there. We'll put some low-level grass in. But can we get... There's a nice sort of cobbly stone texture here. If we're careful, might be able to be around the back of the house here. Fairly straight. Yeah, like that. And we can sort of bring a line of this out into the garden. and give ourselves a little sort of stoned area at the back there. I want to do the same at the front. So we're going to sort of do that in the porch area and out the front of the house a little bit. And then we'll put some more grass down at the sides here, at the front of the house and on the other side as well, just to give that a little bit of life there. So very happy with that. And then we're going to need a garage for this area as well. So I'm going to bring something in here, and there's a building that I think will be perfect for us that is part of the Kinlaig map here. And that is this one here. This is the one that is also up at the main farmhouse, but you can see it will nestle into this area here quite nicely along there. So what I want to do in that case is we're going to put some concrete down for that as well. Grab the concrete, put a concrete floor down for that too. Bring that up to here, like so. That I think will cover it for the most part. Grab our shed and have a look. So up to the top there. We want to get it right up flush to the back here like that. And yeah, there. I need to clear a little bit of the grass off. And if we look at the other end, it actually, yeah, I think it slots in there quite nicely. We just need a little bit of work sort of down here. This bit here, we just need to sort of carve out that little bit there. So let's do that. Come into here, flatten, just flatten into that corner there. Like that. Make a nice square section at the corner there. Bring that, just there. Right, so we want to push that right up into there. And as I said, we need to just cut the grass at the top end there as well. And then we can bring this in. Should be able to bring that to there. Can't see from this angle, but yeah, there should be pretty much spot on, I think. Right there. So B and down. Perfect. That, I think, works great for us. We then have a garage in here. We've got the tiniest of intrusion in that corner, but I'm happy about that. We've got concrete floor all the way through. We've got a little shed here. This is perfect. Exactly where you want to park your Land Rover. And a nice little classic old looking cottage and garage area. So let's sort out the front of this cottage next. And to do that, we're going to put a bit of gravel down. We're going to level things out a little bit. And we're going to basically make this look a little prettier and put a wall in. So first up, I'm going to put some gravel down. There's two types of gravel here. And I think we're probably going to go with the darker one. Yeah, I like the darker one more for this area. So we'll bring that in. That then all goes across the front of here. Let's enlarge that a bit. Yeah, and so we'll bring that all across the front of there like that. So that all of our sort of yard area is done with gravel. Up to our hillside bit at the side. Like that. And I'm not going to decide exactly where the gateway is until I've put the wall in a moment. We'll put a bit of grass down here. Put it down the side of the house there. Like that. Right. And then what I want to do is put a wall in. Got fences here. We've got a few nice types of wall available with Kinlaig. We've got this one here, which goes quite nicely and would do a gateway quite nicely there. But I think we might have different types. So yeah, we got various different types of walls here that we can do. This one here, I think, actually is a nicer type of wall. And that comes, yeah, that comes with some nice wooden gates. So let's take this across here like so. And put that there. We then want to put a gateway in there. A nice big gate, I think. Single gate like that. Then we will come across here. And I think I could go like that there, but I think we're just going to bring the wall across to here and then bring it into the side of the house here. Like that. There. And then I'm going to take the rest of the wall out and up the side of the house here and into the rocks up here, where I think will be the best place for those. So like, yeah, like that. And then make the rocks a natural feature of our house here. And then after that, we just want to put some grass in. So that is the plants. We have different types of meadow grass here. I think we'll just go with the basic. And just bring that along the front here. All the way across the sides there. Round the front of our house here. Round the front of our house here. And then fill our garden with it as well. Nice garden area for our farmhouse at the back. Nudge that. So, yeah, that I like a lot. There we go. So there is our house with garden. We've got a little bit of a roadway bit in here. I think we'll extend the stuff out, but yeah. So house here. We head on in. At the back, and takes us into a nice little garden that is seamlessly done with the rocks and the walls and everything. So there we go. That is our house all set, and we can turn our attention, I think, to the main farmyard. Before I do that, I am just going to get our gravel coming out onto the road, though. So we'll just grab the gravel and do that there around our gateway. There we are. That is the entrance to our house sorted. So now we need a grain store and possibly a little bit more storage. There's a few options for grain stores that we could do. I have discovered this one, which is a single silo. It's 28,000. It holds more than enough crop for what we want to do here. And if we get it on the right spot on here, it will fit really, really well. So I think we're going to go with this, and then we can put a little shed behind it. It lines up fairly well with our main building, so we'll put that down there. And you can see from it here, it lines up fairly well with the top end here, but begins to pull out a little bit there. So I'm just going to level out that corner there, just to bring things up nicely. It opens up for us to tip in rather nicely, which is very cool. And yeah, we've got a fill point here as well. So that's a really nice grain store for us. Let's then just level out the ground in this corner, just to bring things sort of up to the same level everywhere. And then we're going to do some, just a little bit of this to smooth things out. Around the edges, because we need to get that all sorted. And while I've got this here, let's just head over here before I forget, and we'll smooth this corner out here just to do that, and just see if we can pull this corner out a little bit here and fix that back corner of the barn there that we know was a little bit wrong. And then that leaves me with a little bit of space at the back here where we could place another wooden shed or something small like that. That one, I don't know if that fits in there well enough. Oh, we could fit it in right at the back there. In fact, I think that would be my preference. So this comes to when we have a little bit of space that we don't own because of the fields around. But that would definitely fit very nicely at the back there. So as a result, let's have a look at what that would take. So yeah, it's a little bit of land there, possibly a little bit of land there. If I could see it, there we are. Yeah, I think we need to own these 2 fields. Now, these 2 fields I think are worth owning. It is about 210 and 155, so about 365 to own those 2. So we'll buy that and we'll buy that. Yes, there we go. And having purchased both of those, we can now come back in here and we can place this little shed, this 3,000 pound shed that can be placed at the back here like so. Again, we're going to have to do a little bit of work on the land first. So I think regular dirt. Yeah, regular dirt is what I want to do around here. And we'll just have a little bit of dirt underneath the bottom of this shed. Take this right to the back here. So got to be careful because I think the object it's overlapping with is that tree there. So we'll take that, and yeah, we are overlapping a little bit with that tree. We want to get right in the corner. That, I think, is where we want to place it. So again, we will do the free mode placement, place that down, and there we go. And then we have our shed out the back over here. Little bit of hedge growing around it, and it looks a little bit overgrown, but that actually I think adds to the beauty of this, and that gives us that little bit more storage space up at the back part of this field here to go with this. So now we need to do a little bit of decoration around this. So to do that, I'm gonna get again some grass. We will switch our mode and we'll just put grass around the edge here. Like that. We're going to put a couple of dots of grass around these and clean the middles here a bit as well. And yeah, a little bit I think would come out of the edge here. A little bit would be round the side there, because I don't think you do a lot of driving on that. It's a bit like round the other side here. Yeah, we want a load of grass there as well. Fill that in. Right, and then I think we want to put some foliage in. Start off with a load of meadow grass. All sort of growing around that area there. We'll have some meadow grass around this area here. Around here. There. Around there. Around there. Growing into the mud there. Then sort of, I think we'll going with the overgrown theme that we've got at the back there. I think that all works very nicely. Then I'm going to put a couple of shrubs in. There we are. One there. And one over here. Just to sort of make this a little bit more built up. And like that. And that, I think I'm pretty happy with. We've got a good amount of grass and everything around there. There's space for another little shed if you wanted to out the side here. Maybe something to do a bit of storage in. See what kind of stuff we've got here. I mean, you could put a shed like this sort of out the side there. In fact, I quite like the idea of that as a storage shed. Yeah, there's something like that. If we got anything like that in the British shed would be really useful. In fact, looking at it, I think one of these might be a really good addition to down the side there, or that. No, definitely this. I think having this down the side there, but you can see it's to get it to the same level as our main shed. We're gonna have to even the land out, so we'll pull this, because yeah, you can see here the land is quite a bit taller in that area. So I'm just gonna smooth things out here, make sure that our shed is going to be on an even keel with the main shed. But with this one, I shouldn't need to do the to do anything with the placement, because we are good. So that can go there. And yeah, we got a little bit more storage out on this side. So we just need to smooth out this side here in order to get that. It's put nice concrete down and everything in front. So yeah, I'm just going to smooth everything out so that we can now get access to that up to this road. I'm going to do that by pulling the height of this out to the area that we're looking to smooth it out to. Like that. That we're doing, yeah, that there. And then we'll take the smoothing tool, just smooth all of this down so that we get a nice smooth approach up to that shed. Like so. There we go. Yeah, and that then smoothly goes up to here. We can store what we like in here, and we can just clear that up. And then finally, I think we could do with a bit of a concrete area out the front of this here, just to give us a little bit more work area. So we'll switch that and enlarge that. And then I just want to concrete this area here outside our shed, make it that little bit more farm-like, yard-like. There, like so. Do about there. That looks fantastic. So there we are. That is how I would rebuild this yard, make this yard much more of a working farmyard. I think this is really cool. Lots of space. In fact, I might populate it with some vehicles quickly as well. Before I do that, though, let's have a quick look at the finances. See exactly how much money we have spent. We have spent 408,283 building the farm. We've spent just over $500,000 purchasing the farm, 561,522. But we made 25,000 unsold buildings. Getting rid of it. So yeah, that has been a really good amount. That's less than $1 million to get this farm set up. In fact, total land and building costs have been 969,835. So yeah, less than $1 million to build this farm. So spending a little bit more money, I've got some equipment on the farm, sort of basic setup to do some work on the fields. We've got a spreader with some fertilizer. We've got a telehandler, a seeder, a cultivator, a New Holland T8020, tractor, a budding trailer. We've got the JCB fast track, a class 450 Evian combine, along with a header trailer, and a flatbed. So everything you need to really get this arable farm here up and running. Also got a Skoda sitting at the house as well. So yeah, this has cost under $2 million to do this entire setup. I'm really quite pleased with this. This is a cracking farmyard. I think I really want to have a play on it. If you'd like to have a play on it, then I will be making the save for this available via available to my patrons and channel members. I will put a link up for that shortly after this video goes live, and you'll be able to come and play this farm with this setup if you want to. For now, though, let me know down in the comments what you think about this farm build and whether you'd like to see me take another one. In fact, let me know where you'd like me to do my next farm build down in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and drop us a comment. A huge thank you to all my patrons and channel members whose names are on screen now. Your support makes these videos possible. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the recommended video below or subscribe and help us on the road to 50,000 subscribers. And I will see you next time.